Newmarket Aurora.
My question is to the Premier. Speaker, the Minister of Health is now on record with a menu of excuses for not stepping in to stop the waste of millions of dollars and the erosion of patient care at Orange. Yesterday, the former Minister of Health confirmed what we've been saying for months. In his sworn testimony before the Public Accounts Committee, Mr. Smitherman confirmed that none of the excuses proffered by the Minister are credible.
Terrible.
That, in fact, the Minister not only had authority, but also had the responsibility. In case, Speaker, you missed Mr. Smitherman's CTV clip last night, here's what he said. If I was the Minister, there's no way in hell that Chris Mazza makes $1.4 million, said Mr. Smitherman.
Question.
Speaker, now that the Minister has been indicted by both the Auditor General and the former Minister of Health, how much longer will she insist on holding on to her job?
Thank you. Premier.
Mr. Speaker, the former minister, the current minister, both have acknowledged the challenges with Orange, and both have acknowledged that the important steps we've taken to deal with the situation are very important. Let's just review them. First of all, Mr. Speaker, the call for performance agreement being weak, the bill that we have before the House, we've got a new performance agreement. We need to pass the bill, Mr. Speaker. The bill has stronger conflict of interest rules, increased audit, more detailed financial control. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Health has acted in an appropriate fashion, in a timely fashion. As information became available, we stand behind her, we stand with her, as does her predecessor, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary.
Well, Speaker, interesting but not surprising that both the current and the former minister have bonded on this issue. Both have been subject to a scathing Auditor General's report. Both have been exposed for failing to exercise their oversight responsibilities and for protecting the public interest and for allowing the waste of millions of scarce health dollars. Neither accept responsibility for the scandal over which they preserved. Mr. Kaplan took the fall for Mr. Smitherman. We'd like to know who the current minister is going to designate as her scapegoat.
Deputy Premier.
Mr. Speaker, the new minister brought in a new performance agreement. She has put in place a new board of directors. She has put in place new senior executives, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, these are all the appropriate steps that needed to be taken. They were taken in a timely fashion. We've called in the police to look at criminal matters, Mr. Speaker. That's an appropriate thing to do, Mr. Speaker. And we will continue to make
from
changes
Simcoe North is not in his seat.
to ensure that what happened doesn't happen again, Mr. Speaker. I'm proud of the role the minister's taken in this. She's done the appropriate thing in a timely fashion.
Final supplementary.
Well, Speaker, it's clear the wagons are being circled. The member for Willowdale was dispatched yesterday to obstruct the hearings to protect the Premier. The government House Leader is scripted with embarrassing speaking notes to protect the minister. The Premier refuses to answer questions. The minister refuses to accept responsibility. The government refuses to respect the express will of this legislature to form a select committee. And now, shame on the government House Leader for refusing an express motion of the Public Accounts Committee to continue hearings next week. I ask the Premier, just how long does he think, and does this government think that they can hide the truth?
I'm going to ask the member to withdraw.
Withdraw.
Thank you. Deputy.
Minister of Community and Social Services.
Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I think it may be time to update the House. Yesterday, all I could hear at question period was that we were somehow trying to prevent testimony in front of the Public Accounts Committee. Mr. Speaker, I would like to inform members yesterday, 12:30 p.m., Wendy Tilford, Deputy Minister of Economic Development and Innovation, 1 p.m., George Smitherman, former Minister of House, 1:30 p.m., Jameson Stevie, Principal Secretary to the Premier, 2 p.m., Ian Delaney, Board Board Chair of Orange, 230 Kathy Warden, Chief of Staff, Ministry of Economic Development and Innovation. And Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to inform the House that there is a robust list of witnesses who are currently being scheduled for the weeks ahead as the Public Accounts Committee continues this very important investigation into the Orange controversy. One, Mr. Speaker, which is as appropriate, being guided by a council, despite the efforts of that member to have the council fired yesterday.
New question, the Leader of the Third Party.